Hey, what's up YouTube fans? This is CCLC Gamer bringing you another video, and today I got some very good news. James Gunn, who is the new CEO of DC Studios, just revealed a video showing all of the new upcoming DC films and series that are going to be coming out in the upcoming years. Now, from my personal opinion, with the news with DC making some changes, especially having the awesome director James Gunn being the one to create these new movies. I've been a fan of James Gunn ever since he created Guardians of the Galaxy in the Marvel Studios world, and he did a really good job with the new Suicide Squad movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these new movies are like. And as you're aware, this year we got 4 films of the DC universe that's going to be coming out. So first off, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Zachary Levi's sequel of the Shazam movies, which is coming out in March 17th this year. Based from the new trailer that recently got released, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what this sequel is like, because they're battling these demons and dragons, and it looks really cool. I can't wait to see what it's like. Then following up after that, we have The Flash, with Ezra Miller being the Flash again. Now, from the history that we've heard from Ezra Miller with his prison thing, there's been a few bumps in the road with that movie, but they're still planning on making that to be released in June. And with all the behind the scenes of the suits, I can't wait to see what this version of Flash brings. Then we got Blue Beetle, who's going to be played by Eslo Menderes, who is Miguel Diaz in Cobra Kai. And I don't think there's a release date for Blue Beetle yet, but we have seen the official poster for it, and I gotta tell you, when they make a trailer, I bet it's gonna be good. And then, around the end of this year, we close off with Aquaman 2. Now, I mean, I like the Aquaman and Justice League, but I haven't seen those movies yet, so I'm just hoping that this one is as good as the first one was. And we got all the upcoming series and movies, which I'm gonna let James Gunn talk about right now. So without further ado, let's get into this announcement.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation.
So what he's basically saying is they want to try to make the DC studio a bit more connected than the way it was from the past. Having the same people who are playing roles in the movies be the same role in games or TV shows or anything like that, which makes sense because with Batman, the Arkham saga with his games, and the actor who currently passed away, so I would dedicate this video to Kevin Correa, who played Batman in all of those films, and will reprise his role one more time in the new Suicide Squad game, which I'm looking forward to trying out. It was been an honor to playing his games and hearing his voice as Batman, and it's really devastating to hear that he passed away. So Kevin Correa, if you were still alive, I would dedicate this video to you.
That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds.
Okay, so they're kind of making this a bit like Marvel is right now, because anything that's Marvel Studios related would have the Marvel Studios logo on it, like all the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and our version of Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Anything like that would be Marvel Studios, but anything outside of that, they just do the regular Marvel logo with the top saying in association with Marvel. So it's kind of picking up on something like that, with them like saying it's called DC Elseworlds, with Matt Reeves' new Batman, played by Robert Pattinson, which also has been heard that he has a part 2 movie that's coming out in 2025, and hopefully they don't make the movie too long like the first movie was, and like don't do all these slow walk movements towards something that just took up a lot of the movie. I would want something better than that.
Outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love, that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter.
Gods and Monsters.
The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
Okay, so with the new Superman, with the news of the one that did play Superman at the beginning, Henry Cavill, losing that role, I am wondering of what they're will be planning on doing with this new Superman. Like, I hope that whoever they pick looks at least a bit similar to Henry's Superman, because Henry did a really good job as playing Superman, and it kind of devastated me when I heard that he wasn't going to be returning as Superman, especially with his post-credits scene in Black Adam, which I liked very much. Especially seeing him return one more time in the Superman outfit. I just can't believe they decided to kick him out. And the release date, 2025. Not too far away, just 2 years from now. But, yeah, it's planning on doing it in July, like the mid of that year. Also, they're like starting this DC universe with the first chapter codenamed Gods and Monsters. So I can kind of see with Superman and some of these other things that they're making, it makes sense of why they would call it that, because it's just all these gods with superpowers and all these monstrous type of heroes and villains being brought into the DC universe. I can't wait to see what else they have in here. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called
Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
Okay, so bringing back Green Lantern, that is some good news, because most people didn't like Ryan Reynolds playing Green Lantern in the past, which brings me to a question. Who would they actually pick to play Hal Jordan in that? Because if this is like a live-action series, they gotta make the person who plays Hal Jordan worth it, because if it ends up being someone like Ryan Reynolds, then the series won't be as good. And not to mention that they're saying Jon Stewart will be in that movie. I never really seen him in like any movies, but I have seen him in some of the games, and I think he's going to be returning in the new Suicide Squad game, which I'm looking forward to so much. I would really want to watch that series when it comes out, especially if it's going to be leading to something in the future of this universe.
Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros,
back,
but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of...
So, a new Batman. So, I think from rumors that Ben Affleck will return one more time in the Flash movie, which I would kind of like a little bit, because he brought a really good personality into like the Justice League and all that. And not to mention the past version of Batman, Michael Keaton, is going to be in that movie as well. I can't wait to see him returning to playing his version of Batman. And with the new Batman movie, Brave and the Bold, it seems like they're going to be recasting Batman too. So hopefully they could do a good pick for Batman in that. Not to mention Damian Wayne is going to be in that. I didn't really know Damian Wayne that much until I played the Injustice games. And then after that, I started to like Damian Wayne more than the other Robins. Plus, the true fact that he is Batman's son, because Damian was born from Bruce and Talia al Ghul, and in the games he mentions that he was raised by the League of Assassins, which is Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, and of course the League of Assassins. So he can bring that darkness version of the Robin to the DC universe. I think I would want to watch The Brave and the Bold, especially if they're having Damian Wayne being the Robin in this. I would want to see where this picks up.
Of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him.
Booster Gold. I don't think I've ever heard of that guy, so maybe I'll have to do a little bit of research to try to understand him, but the fact that he's from the future, that's pretty interesting to me. It's almost like if 2099 Spider-Man was a loser in his time and went back to Peter Parker's time to be a superhero in that time, and make people love him. I don't know if I would watch this, but it does sound pretty interesting about the character itself.
It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character.
So bringing back Supergirl, which does sound cool, because if they're gonna be bringing Superman back, then they gotta at least try to find a way to bring Supergirl back. And I'm sure this is not the Arrowverse version of Supergirl. They're gonna try to find someone else to play Kara Zor-El. And the way how he described the story, when he said, watch everyone around her perish, it makes me wonder, it could be probably one of the villains that caused that, like Darkseid or Brainiac. I would personally want Brainiac to be in that movie, especially since he's like one of these big bossing characters, like from Injustice 2 that I like so much. And I don't think I've ever seen him in like a film, so I would really enjoy watching Brainiac in a film. So for my personal opinion, I think they should put Brainiac in Supergirl.
And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories.
So, ending God of Gods and Monsters with Swamp Thing. Now, I don't know much about Swamp Thing, but I do like him in the second Injustice game, especially since his part in that story was so good, and how he was like mind controlled by Brainiac, and he is slept in Slaughter Swamp to protect the Green. I would kind of look forward to seeing how Swamp Thing plays out. But that's all that James Gunn has for us today, and I hope you guys liked this notice of the new films and series that are going to be coming out in the upcoming years. So if you liked the video, go down there, hit a thumbs up, and comment down below of the movies or series that were noticed in this that you're looking forward to seeing, and I want to hear your opinions about them, and I'll keep you guys in touch if I learn anything new. I'll see you guys later.